Thank you. So welcome to all of you, all the Vaishnavas here, and hopes all of you had nice time during your Kartik Mas and Kartik month. And thanks to Shantanu Prabhu for coordinating the course from the student side. So myself, Murli Makundas, your servant. So thanks to BVRV also for giving me this opportunity to serve you all. Before I begin, just want to tell the schedule that just this week and the coming week, because of marathon month going on, so I would stretch a little bit of one class extra for this week and coming week. And next 2 weeks, surely we will have no classes because everybody can more participate in the book distribution marathon. Then afterwards, I will continue with our normal schedule of 2 classes per week as per a regular schedule. Which day exactly I'm yet to little bit figure out, but mostly it will be between Tuesday to Friday and between some 2 days of that. So that will be communicated to all of you. And so hopes everybody is comfortable with this schedule. So this week and next week, just bear with me for one more extra class so that we don't lag. That was this thing. So that's why Sakshat Achitru has told me to take three classes. That was his idea. So I'm just following his because he is the overall coordinator for this course. So, and next, before we begin, I would like to sincerely express my gratitude to all the teachers who has taught us the Bhakti Shastri course and got to hear from them, especially during our time. This course was practically a month, compressed month in a month, practically everything, every day, practically morning till evening, 6 hours. Every alternate second day, write your closed book exams. And by the end of course, all open book exams, practically everything was like a compressed, packed, because we were in ashram. So that was the facility provided so to complete the course. However, what do you call it? Actually, the model that you are getting is good because you get time to munch upon what you have heard. I don't say what our model was bad, but I say that was the need and it was provided to us. But what you are getting is actually it is good. Slow pace is good. That Bhagavad Gita is not subject matter. At least after 1 month, I don't remember what I heard, to be frank with. So it took for me again in second or third understanding from different speakers. But however, the initial speakers, especially, I would like to express my gratitude to His Grace, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. We were fortunate enough to hear Prabhu, and those days Prabhuji was here, to mainly Shlokanishad and Bhagavad Gita half completely. He took over later. So, and other speakers too, His Grace Balwan Prabhu, His Grace Murari Prabhu, His Grace Ramanand Prabhu, His Grace Sri Guru Charan Prabhu. So these were all teachers in those days. So I express my deep gratitude to all of them that they helped us to understand the subject matter. And to my counselor, His Grace Kanaya Krishna Prabhu, later he helped me to understand much more deeper, along with the other teachers. And so I am grateful to him for his lectures and for his help that he has provided me, and all other senior Vaishnavas also. And needless to say, His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, who is the overall in charge for even the BVRV himself, and our voices also, and under whose guidance we are learning and try to live the teachings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. needless to say again, but must mention my own spiritual master, Param Puja His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, under whose guidance our lives are going on in devotional practice, and our most beloved, preeminent Shiksha Guru for whole of the ISKCON world, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is his program, the Bhakti Shastri program is his own program, and it is his own books that we are studying. And it is his program because of which we all are together here today. Otherwise, surely, I don't know many of you. The spiritual wealth he has left for us in this material world is the means for our spiritual sustenance. So all glories to him. In fact, we are just trying to repeat whatever we have heard from him, read from his books, from his lectures, and his followers and his disciples. And all glories to our Gaudiya Parampara line. His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, His Divine Grace Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Baldev Vidya Bhushan Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur, and Nalapam Das Thakur, and the previous 6 Goswamis. And our Panchatattva, Shri Gaur Nitai, who has opened the doors to the spiritual world in this dark age of Kali for all of us. And in this, particularly this book itself, which is Bhagavad Gita, the song of Lord Krishna himself, a message of love for the conditioned living entities. So, for the living entities of the entire world, for living entities, a ray of hope, and for all of us to relish deeply the words of our beloved Lord. So, taking shelter of all these above personalities, although they have given so much, but whatever I could collect in the begging bowl of my heart with a limited capacity, I would like to serve all of you for the purification of my heart and the glorification of their lordships. So, in the previous section, and at the same time, I beg all of your permission and prayers and blessings. And some of you may be senior to me, surely. Just because the Bhakti Shastri certificate might be pending, that's why you are attending this course. You may be knowing much more. It's a matter of attendance for you. But to be frank with, I have not understood Gita completely, but whatever little bit I have tried to understand all these years, my limited understanding, I'll try to serve. So if there are limitations, please try to help me out. And if you find anything interesting, anything, this thing, that is surely the glory to all the personalities whom I have already spoken about. So I'm sure all of you are from different voices. Some of you are already passed out. Some of you are in working phase. Some of you might also got married in NS. Some of you planning into GS. Some of you are still students. So however, this is a wonderful program for all the voice devotees. And you have been already living a life of devotional service practices in your voices or in your lives. That's why you all are here. So the course of Bhakti Shastri is mainly meant for deepening our understanding, and so that we become stable in our own bhakti. So we begin. His Grace Amshu Prabhu, he has started this Bhagavad Gita series and covered up the first 6 chapters. That is the Bhagavad Gita Karma Yoga, that section of the Bhagavad Gita. Myself will try to serve you all for the coming 6 chapters, that is middle 6 chapters from 7th through 12th, and then the further speaker will take from 13 to 18. So there are different Bhagavad Gita commentaries. There is Sridhar Swami's commentary called Subodhini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Sarartha Sarartha Varshini. And Baldev Vidya Bhushan is Gita Bhushan. And His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. His is Bhagavad Gita as it is. And his disciple Bhurijan Prabhu, which is a supportive study and helps in understanding even Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita better. That is his surrender unto me. So primarily, I just mentioned the names. We are in this course referring to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is. And we'll take support from surrender to me wherever is required. And in fact, Prabhupada himself is taken this Bhagavad Gita commentary from Baldev Vidya Bhushan's Gita Bhushan. So he has dedicated even this Gita that we find. So in fact, we are in. So main, if we read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and take support of Bhurijan Prabhu's, so that in future, if you want more deeper, I just mentioned the names. You can go for Sarartha Varshini, Gita Bhushan, and later after we complete this. And sure enough, everybody you might have read it also previously. So let's begin. So Sridhar Swami in his Subodhini Bhagavad Gita commentary, the introduction, he gives a very beautiful, wonderful verse which tells about the glories of the Gita. He says, Shesha Shesha Mukha Vyakhya Chaturye Tveka Vaktrataha Dadanam Adbhutam Vande Paramananda Madhavam. So Sridhar Swami is saying that Shesha Ashesha Mukha Vyakhya. He says, Shesha has many hoods. Ashesha. Shesha has Ashesha. Mukha Vyakhya. He glorifies with his so many thousands of hoods. All of us know that. Chaturye tva eka vaktatraha. So what the Shesha could not speak, or is glorifying through all his thousands of lotus mouths. Or he could not speak because he is continuously saying, Chaturye ekatva. He says, Chaturye tva ek. But Lord Krishna is so chatur that he spoke all that with his one mouth. That is a beauty. Dadanam adbhutam vande. So I am pay obeisances to such wonderful Krishna, such wonderful personality. Who is what? Paramananda Madhavam. Who is the treasure of great bliss. So that's how he glorifies Krishna. All that Shesha speaks with Ashesha Mukha, Krishna spoke with one Mukha. That's the glory of the Lord. So coming to our chapters 7. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, all of us heard this analogy. He says, he divides this Bhagavad Gita. He's the one who says that the first 6 chapters, the 666, these are the set of 6 chapters. He says that the first 6 chapters, the Karma Yoga is nothing but Nishkam Karma Yoga section, first 6 chapters. Next 6 chapters from 7 to 12 is the Bhakti Yoga section, which we are going to begin. And the last 6 chapters are the Dana Yoga part. Now, he compares this Bhakti Yoga section is between Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga sections. So just like we find a box, the most valuable thing, the upper cover of the box is there, lower cover of the box is there, and the most valuable thing is kept inside, either the diamond or the jewel. So his comparison is like that. He says that this is 6 chapters, these are 6 chapters, and the middle section, 6 chapters, is that Bhakti Yoga. So then he says the reason, he gives a beautiful 3 reasons of why that is kept in center. Beautiful reason, he says. He says, why? Because, number 1, because of its confidentiality. Bhakti Yoga is very confidential. So anything that is very valuable, we all know that. We just don't keep it openly. We keep it in a sacred place. in a protected place. So that's how it is in between. That is a confidential nature of bhakti. That's why it is kept in between. Second interesting thing is, okay, why not even the sequence can be later? No. He says, why? Because bhakti is in between, because anything which is in between, you know that it is covered by both the lids, and both the lids come in contact with that center valuable thing. Because bhakti is the jivani. Bhakti is the life for even karma yoga, for even jnana yoga. So it giving life to both of them. Even karma yoga, jnana yoga, one cannot, all of us know that one cannot get success even in those paths until and unless there is at least certain amount of bhakti touched. That's why it is kept. Because if it is at the last, it cannot touch the first one. And if it is at the first, it cannot touch the jnana yoga. So that is the reason it is kept in center, so that it is jivani for both. It is life, means it is come in contact with both and gives life to both karma yoga section and jnana yoga section also. So that is the, and the third he says is because of the rarity of it. We all of us heard, because devotional service is most rare. It's not so easily available. So that's how. Now in this section of chapter 7, which we are heading, so this is bhakti section. Primarily, we all should understand that is it no bhakti in the first 6 chapters? Only bhakti is talked about in center chapters. No bhakti is talked about. No. It is by prominence. Prominently, Nishkam Karma Yoga is discussed in first 6 chapters. There will be bits and pieces of verses related to jnana. There are verses related to bhakti also in the first, but predominant, mainly it is. Similarly, the jnana section, it is predominantly jnana, but surely there will be certain section verses relating to bhakti. Like simple, all of us know Sarva Dharman Pariteja. Is it a jnana verse or it is a bhakti verse? It's pure devotional service verse. So sections of bhakti will also be there. And in center, primarily, the majority, and it is will be bhakti. What kind of bhakti? 2 kinds of bhakti. There will be mixed devotional service and there will be pure devotional service. Both are, from a devotional service point of view, it is bhakti yoga. But what kind of pure? There will be mixed, that is mixed with jnana and yoga, that mixed devotional service, and pure devotional service, which we call as Shuddha Bhakti, Akinchana Bhakti, Nirguna Bhakti, or Ananya Bhakti, which we call it with different names. So that section. So this 6 chapters will deal with particularly with this portion. So now, so let's begin with the first. Now the 7th chapter is entitled as Knowledge of the Absolute, or it is also called as Gnana Vijnana Yoga. So I've sent a WhatsApp to Shantanu Prabhu. So just giving an overview of the 17. It is already given in your handbook for students, but still I have just tabulated it and he will forward to all of you. Maybe I can share the screen for you so that.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So I'm just sharing the same WhatsApp message what is forwarded to you. Okay. Everybody is able to see this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Yeah. So here we find that this is the overview of chapter 7. So which you are finding it. Yeah. So here chapter 7, the knowledge of the absolute, Gnana Vijnana Yoga. 1 to 7 verses will talk about know Krishna in full by hearing about him. 8 to 12 will cover the sections knowing Krishna as a source of both material and spiritual energies. 13 to 14 will talk about the 3 modes are controlled by Krishna, therefore surrender. And 15 to 19 will talk about 4 kind of people who do not surrender and 4 kind of people who do surrender. And 20 to 25 will talk about those who surrender to Krishnetara. Itara, actually. Krishnetara means apart from Krishna. Who else will be there? Surely it will be demigod worshippers and impersonalist, whose surrender is there but to demigods or to the impersonal form of the Lord, the impersonalists. Then 26 to 30 will cover how the living entity is bewilderment of the living entity and the knowledge of Krishna, how he'll be, how he can come out of it. So in the first section, I'm just briefing a small description about it. The first section, when Krishna will talk about 1 to 7, know Krishna in full. That is, he's talking about Krishna along with his energies. When we are talking about Krishna, just like king means king along with his energies, along with his kingdom, along with his paraphernalia, everything. So like that. So that section will describe about a glory of knowledge of Krishna, about how is the source of everything. That will be covered. 8 to 12, knowing Krishna as a source of both material and spiritual energies. It will describe about how is Krishna is a source of everything, essence of everything, and that section will cover. 3 modes. So how the living entities are bewildered or controlled by the 3 modes, deluded by the 3 modes. Then what to do? Then surrender to Krishna. Why? He's not under the 3 modes. He's not controlled by the 3 modes. And then question comes is, if you don't surrender, you suffer. If you surrender, yes, you will also become nirguna. You will be free from the miseries of this material existence. So that section. Okay, still then why people do not surrender? Who are those don't surrender? That will be covered in this. So those who surrender, then who are those who will surrender? That will be covered. Okay, are there anybody apart from those who don't surrender, those who surrender, they surrender but to something else? That will be covered. That is Krishnetara. That is 20 to 25. There we will describe, there the description about less intelligent people who worship demigods for material gains, that we'll see. And the aspect of impersonalists, who worship the formless aspect of Krishna, the Brahman aspect, that will be seen. And finally, we'll see about the bewilderment of the living entity and the knowledge of Krishna, basically. How the soul gets liberated by the knowledge of Krishna. So that part will be covered. Just share the screen of chapter 7. Okay. Are you able to see, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
This is chapter 7, knowledge of the absolute. So here we begin our verses. So the way I will go is I will recite the verses, and if you are able to recite at your place, you do recite, please. Then somebody I will request for help me for reading the translation. And there will be some portions which I am highlighted. Only those portions we are supposed to read. Whenever I say, I request you to read that portion, you can read. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Saktaha Mana Partha Yogam Yunjam Madashrayah Ashamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasasi Tat Shrunu. Yeah, Shantanu Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can read the translation.
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Now hear, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt."
Yeah. So this is a verse where Krishna is saying that. Before beginning this verse, how this verse is coming, Krishna is saying that here, Usually Arjuna asks some question, then Krishna starts beginning. If you see, just go to the previous chapter, he ended with saying that yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma same yuktatmato matah. Like that. So all of the yogis, the one who's with great faith, who always abides me, in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and the highest of all. That is my opinion. Like that, Krishna ends the sixth chapter. That is the Dhyana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. So now, though Arjuna did not ask anything, here Krishna is saying that you hear. Arjuna did not ask, okay, what is that form that to be worshipped? What is that, where I'm supposed to absorb my mind? On which object? Madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma. Like that is saying. So where he did not ask. Actually, this chapter, these words were mentioned by the Lord himself in the last chapter, saying that, please, that yogi is great. Of all the yogis, different kind of yogis he mentions about, one who perform penances, one who perform austerities, about the jnanis, everybody. So one who is completely absorbed in me, he's a true yogi. He's, in the sense, he's most intimately connected with me. Like that he says. So after that, it's the merciful nature of Krishna that next chapter, he without Arjuna even saying anything about it, the Lord himself is eager. Out of his own merciful nature, he starts speaking this what to do, how to know that, what to do, what is that madgate nantaratmana, how to absorb myself. So he says this verse. That's why this chapter immediately begins without Arjuna's asking any question or Arjuna leaving any question on the previous chapter that he want to clarify with. So nothing is of that sort. Here directly, it's a merciful nature of the Lord because he's going to speak about bhakti. So that's why he's immediately. So here it says that Maya sakta mana partha yogam yunjam madashrayah ashamshayam samagram mam yatha jnasasi tat shrunu. It's very clear. So here this verse can go in a. This is the verse where Srila Prabhupada has spoken maximum number of lectures. If you see in his folio also, or in the lectures, at least which I had, so maximum lectures, at least more than 15 to 20 lectures, I think, only on verse number 1 of 7.1. So here, so this, the flow of this verse can be bottom up. What is saying that? What I mean to say is, so he's saying tat shrunu, means first hear. So what will happen once hearing is once we hear, asamsayam samagram, doubts will be dispelled completely. Samagram is complete. Doubt will be dispelled completely. Okay, when doubts are dispelled, what will happen? Madashraya. Surely, whenever our doubts are dispelled, we are more eager to take shelter. So then one takes shelter of the Lord. And then Yogam Yunjan. Shelter means what? In his shelter, he wants to serve him. Engage. Yogam Yunjam in his service. And in this way, what will happen? If he continues to serve, first here, doubts are dispelled. He takes shelter, continues to engage in service. Then one day, Maya Sakta Mana Partha, our mind becomes attached to Krishna. It's not so easy. We hear that. The one word, if you want to say about what is Krishna consciousness, it's absorption. And absorption is related to the mind. That's why. And absorption doesn't come so easily. But all of us has the capacity or magnitude of absorption. All of us know that. Why? Because our mind is naturally absorbed in the material sense gratification or material sense objects very quickly. That means the mind has a capacity to become absorbed. The question is, where one is supposed to become. So Krishna is saying by this. So that's how the flow of the verse, if you see, it goes through. Why? Because by hearing we come to know how will I make spiritual advancement? How will I move closer to Krishna? That's true. Along with that, why? Because hearing itself increases our attraction towards Krishna. Shrunu, that word is there. That's Shrunu. Hearing is one of the limbs of bhakti. It shows the path and it is a path also. See, hearing always, when we hear, we get to know about things. We get to know a path. But in our case, in bhakti, it shows the path how to advance in bhakti by hearing. But at the same time, because our process is bhakti yoga, all of us are practicing the bhakti yoga, the main limb is shravanam and kirtanam. So that's why it's a path also, and it shows the path, both. So by getting our mind attached to Krishna, that is a perfection of spiritual life. That's how Krishna is telling. Maya Sattamaya Partha. So initially, when the mind is not attached to Krishna, what to speak of mind, even our senses do not want to do any seva for Krishna. It takes time. What to speak of mind, our physical sense. So it's very difficult to render service to Krishna. So initially, that's why when we come to ISKCON, we first hear. But there are so many doubts. Why only Krishna and all that? So eventually, when we continue hearing, our doubts are dispelled. Then we start thinking about shelter of Krishna. Seriously, after hearing, our doubts are dispelled. Then one engages in the services, yogam yunjan. And after continuing to serve, surely we feel great attachment, and then we continue with stability in our bhakti and want to achieve that goal where our mind is one day completely absorbed in Krishna. Currently, yes, it's always interruptive. It's not so strong. That's why hearing is foundational for the process of bhakti. Such emphasis on hearing is given in is most importantly given in the path of bhakti rather than any other paths. And when here Krishna is saying samagram mam, you will completely means according to one's capacity. Surely nobody can understand Krishna completely, only Krishna himself, and we cannot understand everything. But whatever is required according to our capacity to progress in the path, that is surely samagram. That is, we can surely understand. So when we hear, our doubts are clarified. When our doubts are clarified, as I said, we become enthusiastic in our devotional service also. Our intelligence is nourished. Doubts are cleared. So in the Upanishads, the 4 steps of self-realization is given in a beautiful way. It's called as Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and Shakshat. Nididhyasanam. So these 3 steps is there. That's 4th one is Sakshatkar. So when we Shravan is when we hear the words, when our ear comes in contact with the words related to the name, form, Leela, Guna, all of related to the Lord, then that is Shravan. And then after Shravan is not sufficient. After that, one has to do Manan also. Manan is contemplating. Just Shravan, generally here, there is even if we hear a lecture also, certain percentages we catch from the teacher. And certain percentage later when we meditate, when we ruminate, that comes. Certain percentage when we discuss with each other. So that's how the whole growth of Shravan is there. So Manan is most important. So Shravan is done, Manan is done. So these two will has to come into one's living, one's practice. Nididhyasanam, that is called as. What is Nididhyasana? Applying in one's life. Trying to live by what I have heard, what I am contemplating. Because people try to live in their lives how? By hearing. By hearing the glory of their material life. That's how they choose their careers. That's how they choose their lifestyle. And they want to live by it. And they contemplate upon it. So similarly, spiritual life, when we hear, when we contemplate, when we start living life, and for one day there will be Sakshatkar. What is Sakshatkar? Sakshatkar means knowledge is solidly established in our heart. Now previously knowledge is there when we hear, when we do contemplation, it may be there on our intelligence level. Yeah, and then when we start living, slowly, it becomes solidity, solidly established in our heart. That means I will not budge an inch. That is a stable. And surely Sakshatkar has, realization has its own, of seeing the Lord, of realizing bhakti, or the tasting the bliss of bhakti, anubhavati, like that. So hearing is the process for us and means and end both. So hearing is a process for us, is the means and the end for all of us. So that has to be clear. Now let's try to see. Okay. Sir Aman Kumar Prabhu, can you please read this, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
The highlighted portion.
Yes, Prabhuji. Purport. In this 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna consciousness is fully described. Krishna is full in opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described herein. Also, 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter.
Yeah, good. Thank you. So, in short, if you want to know about this chapter, let us say you say, Prabhu, so many splits are there, so many discussion we have to remember. But to be frank with these splits, I send you the screenshot just so that you can, every day we'll try to see the splits first of this chapter so that everybody gets reminded which is the section we are dealing currently now. So here Prabhupada is telling in short about this opulences of Krishna. It's basically, this chapter is telling about powers of Krishna. You'll find that Jnana Vijnana, the powers of Krishna will be described, and the one who surrender and one who do not surrender. That's it. If you talk in just in precise and short terms, powers of Krishna will be described in this chapter, and the people who surrender and 4 kind of people who do not surrender. That much is there in this chapter. That's all. So that's what Prabhupada is giving as a brief introduction. And please, yeah, can you continue to read, Prabhu, Aman Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. One should therefore begin yoga practice as directed in the last verse of the 6th chapter. Concentration of the mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotional service in 9 different forms, of which Shravanam is the first and most important. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, Tat Shrunu, or hear from me. No one can be a greater authority than Krishna, and therefore, by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become a perfectly Krishna conscious person.
Can you read this portion also?
Yes, Prabhuji. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly or from a pure devotee of Krishna, and not from a non-devotee upstart, puffed up with academic education.
Yeah. So, okay. So, here, so same. Arjuna has that fortune of hearing from Krishna directly, the whole Bhagavad Gita. And we all had the fortune of hearing Bhagavad Gita from his pure devotees. And that is coming in the line. We are seeing this Bhagavad Gita as it is from pure devotee of the Lord, that is Srila Prabhupada, by his mercy. And those who are following Srila Prabhupada, those who are followers of the Lord, they have taught us this Bhagavad Gita, helping us to understand. And this Shravan process is beautifully described in Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the famous verses where all of us know that 9 stages of bhakti that Rupa Goswami says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Ado Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishta, then Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, and Prem. All these 9 stages. Then how Rupa Goswami has taken, actually, these are the verses. These are the verses which Rupa Goswami has analyzed and gave us in short. What are the steps? Where will this hearing lead us to? Where will this hearing lead us to? And these are the same verses, if you see in Srila Prabhupada's diary also, when he went to US in his prayer, Markena Bhagavad Dharma. In that, if you see, he recites these verses in between. Because how will my Vani affect? The Prabhupada says, because he was carrying Krishna as Bhagavatam, non-different. Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. Because when Krishna left, he left from, we say that famous verse where when Krishna left, Krishna Sodhama Upakate Dharma Jnana Adipi Saha Kalo Nashtadasham Esha Purana Arkodinoditaha. What is that? When Krishna has left everything, then what will be the hope for the dark age of Kali that is coming after Dwapar Yuga? The hope is from other side, from the horizon, there rose the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not different from Krishna's incarnation as a book in the sense of, and Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. His book incarnation or his sound incarnation, which is leading this world, which is guiding this world. So these are the verses which is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, which tells about the process of Shravan, how that Shravan. So I'll just recite that. Shrunvatam swakatah Krishna punyashravana kirtanah hridantasto hyavadhrani vidunoti sruhatsatam nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayasyaye chetayete viddham sitam satve prasidati evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grantish Chityante Sarva Samshayaha Shriyante Chasya Karmani Drishta Evatmanishvare. So this, I'll read the translation. It is, just hear it, you'll understand. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of the devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lusts and avars are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness. This is talking about Nishta stage. Become enlivened by devotional service and understands the sign of God. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once at the stage of Ashamshayam Samagram. Prabhupada is bringing to this verse of Bhagavad Gita. Understanding of Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So this verse, if you want to go, you can refer in the Bhagavatam, verse by verse. It goes step-wise steps. It is nothing but every verse is related to this 9 steps of Rupa Goswami, how Shraddha is leads till Ado Shraddha. Once start hearing, and then because the Shraddha will also come when we start hearing from somebody. It doesn't develop. The meaning there is, somebody may say, Shraddha you said in the beginning, but where is Shravan in that? No. The meaning is, once you come with Tapa, you hear them, and there are Shraddha increases. That is a pre-Shraddha. That's what we call it. That Vishnu Chakra, he takes into 14 steps and describes much more elaborately. So I'm just giving a hint, so that gives the process to establish. And it goes to the level of where one achieves prema and one gets darshan of the Lord. Darshan of the Lord. And at that stage, all one material knots are cut off. So that's what has been described here. Now, and the last, okay, Aman, can you read this last line which is highlighted?
Yes, Guruji. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna.
Science of Krishna. Yeah, thank you. So that's why. Now, today we have the facility is glorious. So much facility for so much wide range of speakers, wide range of facility, the YouTube, internet, everything it's on a click. In those days, somebody has to hear a transcendental knowledge, has to travel all the way to some Gurukul, search for some Guru, be under him, perform penances, practically serve him. And that's how he used to get knowledge. But today it's in our hand tip, to be frank with. It's available. Whatever I want to hear, whatever it's, you can choose to hear. I mean, that freedom, everything is there. But to be frank with, because of that, sometimes the genuine hearing is lost, or the focused hearing is lost. And what happens is that becomes a dilution, and one himself doesn't understand where is he heading to. What to speak of our own, what do you call, devotees. We start going to many other organizations, and so because it's like a market, practically market for hearing. So let me market it, because Google it, or what do you call that, Flipkart, Amazon. So anything, any item in your hand strip, you can say. Similarly, hearing has also become a process. Okay, let me know something more about yoga. Let me know more about karma kanda. Let me know more about bhakti. Okay, what others say about bhakti. Like that, it has more or less become as a market for many of them. And on top of that, many of them who speak, sometimes the references are not there. The references are missing. Sometimes the lectures I found are filled with WhatsApp jokes. It begins with nice devotional touch, but later it goes into the zone of what we have heard from the news, what is coming from WhatsApp, what is coming from here, what is coming from here, what is coming from there. So it mixes up with multiple things. And then one is stranded alone, not knowing where I'm supposed to go, whom I'm supposed to follow, what is my absorption in bhakti. So that becomes very challenging over a period of time. So better, that's why we should have focused hearing. You can increase your range of hearing, but not in the initial years. Initial years, that's why even like prominent Shiksha Guru or preeminent Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada, and our own spiritual masters, and some of the personalities whom we have. So that should be our main hearing, main focus, so that we have a proper flow, where to put our mind, where to focus, what is that elements, very clearly to focus upon that, and we go ahead in that nicely. And later, based upon our maturity, based upon the guidance, one should go ahead with further hearing. Nothing wrong, but at the same time, I suggest two things. So this is what will help us, that we stick. Initially, better we stick with Srila Prabhupada books. At least one should have read all Srila Prabhupada books. Even reading Prabhupada books is nothing but Shravan, because what Prabhupada has given is the mercy of the previous acharyas, which he has given, and he has taken that effort to give out to all of us. So at least once, there should be multiple times, but at least once. There are so many Srila Prabhupada disciples who read. I remember His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj. One time I heard that he read Chaitanya Charitamrita 41 times, more than that. The Hanuman Preksh Swami Maharaj. In the year, as soon as one book is completed in flight or wherever, same Prabhupada books he keeps on reporting. Actually, if you keep on repeating, the depth of our understanding actually deepens. Because if you hit a nail at a particular point, just deepens. Similarly, yes. So that's how one's focus should be. And even in our so even when we are hearing lectures, one should be careful whether somebody is quoting the scriptures, whether somebody is referring to Prabhupada's words, whether somebody is referring to his teachings, his lectures, his words. So that has to be seen, and reference from the scriptures. I will tell you one example. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you will be going ahead with that course, and later after this or in this course. You will see when Rupa Goswami Pad is presenting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you will find practically anything that is stating, there is a supporting statement from the scriptures. There is supporting statements from the scriptures. Now, you may say that if somebody is taking a principle and making an application point for understanding the subject matter better, that's okay. That is an application point. That's okay. But I am in general telling that usually otherwise over a period of when we are talking to others also, our speech will be that that what I heard in his lecture, and he was saying like that, Prabhuji was saying like that Baba said like that, in that there may be but do you know what reference he was quoting to? One time same thing happened. I was there, so to one senior devotee I said, I heard like this. So when I said first statement, first immediately he asked, where did you hear this from? I said, I heard among the devotees. He said, which devotee you heard from? I said, I don't remember. Then he told me, in my life, Prabhu, you are hearing even somebody. Either you should have studied the scriptures nicely. When he's saying, you should understand. Okay, he's talking from this scripture, this theme is talking. Either you should understand. If not, whatever they are speaking, you should try to take that endeavor. Where are the sources? Where is he speaking from? Or ask that personality on a personal level and know it. And we find our own, what do you call, Acharya, our own His Divine Grace, His Bhakti and Srila Prabhupada. You have seen any correspondence you find, apart from the personal letters, but still you'll find when he's in his morning walks, when he's his books, when he's in, you'll find anything that he talks, he immediately quotes a verse. Anything he talks, he immediately quotes a verse. So that's how it's very important not to dilute our hearing. Otherwise, our lectures, when we are speaking tomorrow also, it should not be, if you're referring to Prabhupada, if you're referring to the previous acharyas, if you're referring to current gurus, then surely because these people are deemed, because their knowledge, everything that is also rooted in the scriptures, that one has to, either we quote directly the scriptures, or we quote these personalities prominently and knowing what they're quoting is also. And that we will come to know only if we have also read deeply. Sometimes they are getting a deep point, but it is well, at least we should. But quoting so many people and not knowing the reference, it becomes diluted. And for our progress also, it doesn't help more in our advancement. So this is what we can try to work out with. So that's why hearing directly from the Lord or his pure devotees is very important, but not from anybody else. So verse 2. Jnanam teham savijnanam idam vakshami asheshatah yajnatva neha bhuyonyaj gnatavyam avashishyate. Yes, 1 minute. I request our Arjun Sarthi Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So you're senior to me. Please, Prabhu.
You want me to read translation, Prabhuji, first?
Yes, translation only, Prabhuji.
I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. So if you see this part, Jnanam teha savijnanam. So Lord is saying that if you come to know this, proper translate as a numinal knowledge, so phenomenal knowledge and numinous knowledge. So he's saying that if you know both Jnanam and Vijnanam, then I shall explain to you in full, and there is nothing else further. Knowing this, there is nothing else will remain for you to remain to be known. That's what. So coming to Prabhupada, if you see, okay. Gautam Prabhu, can you just read Prabhu? First, this just highlighted portion.
Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them.
Okay. So now, because he's saying you will know complete knowledge by knowing both, that is Jnanam and Vijnanam, can somebody help me to understand what Prabhupada is trying to say here. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world and the spirit behind it and the source of both of them. Okay, before that, I'll just explain that phenomenal is the word what the world is around us, that what we see with, perceive with our senses. Whereas noumena or numinous is that which is which cannot be grasped by the senses, which is beyond the regions of senses. So Krishna is saying that I will give you gnana, vijnana. So gnana is Prabhupada is taken as gnana as phenomenal and nominal as vijnana. So can somebody has so if you know both of this, everything is known. So can anybody would like to try? Complete knowledge includes knowledge of phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both of them. What does it mean?
Guruji,
Yes,
matter, spirit,
Aditya.
and
Yeah.
oh, sorry.
Aditya Tapalwar raised a hand. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, that like Prabhupada in one instance give the example like one of the one of the saint from means one of the pope, he wanted to go, one of the priest, he wanted to preach in some of the land, okay, and he was not knowing that initially that in that country people were fearful of newspaper, and he lack of newspaper or something like that. That priest explained to them ki like the hell is like very dark place, this that, okay. But people are not fearful of it. But then when they hear from him that there will be no newspapers, then they become so much frightened, okay. So in that way, if anybody want to preach, okay, so he should be knowing and having the idea of the surrounding, what is like what are the factors, what are the going in surrounding and all. So that can be called as the phenomenal knowledge of phenomenal world.
Okay. So what whole statement is doesn't end there. The spirit behind it and the source of both of them.
Guruji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Shantanu, would you like to try? You have anything more? Wait, Aditya, you have anything more to say? Okay.
No, I was just focusing on that
on
word,
phenomenal. No, I want the complete. So what does that whole thing mean? Yeah.
Guruji,
Yes,
in our Radhesham Prabhu mentions this in our lecture. So this MSC
Okay.
formula, matter,
Yes.
spirit, and controller of both.
Okay.
So it is this that we need to know what is matter, because we are living in this world, and while living in this world, we need to understand how am I supposed to conduct, and we are supposed to understand our like Swarup Dharma and Swadharma, and then understanding that both are connected to the Supreme. And in this way, the whole material, spiritual, everything is covered, and that will encapsulate the whole knowledge.
Yeah, you are close by, but I'm still looking. Anybody more? So who's the spirit behind it here? The spirit behind it is what? Who's that spirit then? Okay, phenomenal world, you'll say, okay, the material world. The spirit behind it is what?
Soul.
Okay, soul is also there, but for the material world, the spirit behind it, soul. Will you take that here?
Nature.
Paramatma.
Okay, Paramatma. Good. Paramatma. And then what is the next statement you see?
The source for both of them. So it is Krishna.
Exactly. Good. So what does it mean is, you see, it means complete knowledge includes knowledge of, yes, what is that? Knowledge of phenomenal world, which has both. Who are there? In the phenomenal world, who are there? Matter is there and spirit souls are already there. And the complete spirit behind it is the Paramatma, which is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Who is that? Who's the Paramatma of the material existence? Anybody? Who's the Paramatma of the material existence?
Karanodakshaya, three Purusha Avtaras.
Purusha Avtaras. All three. Garbhodakshaya, Shirodakshaya or Karanodakshaya Vishnu or Mahavishnu is for the complete material, this thing, the whole ocean of material existence. And he's a Paramatma. Garbhodakshaya is for one universe. And Shirodakshaya or the Paramatma aspect, who's there in the individual soul. We say that. So these three aspects are completely Purusha avatars of the Lord. So spirit behind it. So that is, and the source of the both is what is source of both is what? That is Krishna. He's referring to. So like that, this verse. So that is why Prabhupada is using phenomenal, and numinous actually refers to our previous Acharya says, Vishnu Chakri Thakur, he refers to saying that Gnana and Vijnana means Aishwarya aspect of the Lord. Vijnana means Madhurya aspect of the Lord. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, see, one understanding everybody has. Gnana Prabhu, theoretical knowledge, and Vijnana Prabhu, the wisdom, or the, what do you call, realized knowledge. That is a simple one level understanding, no doubt about it. But the deeper understanding which Prabhupada is telling us, and which previous acharyas supported, saying that is the Gnana. When we say, Krishna is saying, you, by that you will come to know my powers. Powers of what? Means the Aishwarya aspect. Aishwarya of the Lord in this world. How? As how he is the controller of this matter. How is the controller of the living entities? How is that? So that is the Aishwarya aspect of the Lord. And then Vijnana aspect, when Vishnu Chakri Thakur says, he says that is the sweetness, Madhurya. This is not Madhurya Ras. Please be careful. I'm not talking about Madhurya Ras. Madhurya means it will be the sweet aspect of the Lord. How it is that? How Krishna is Bhaktavatsal. How Krishna is, what you call, is so loving to his, he's ready to, what you call, being get defeated by his Gopa friends. But there is sweetness of the Lord. How is ready to give up his greatness of the Lord. So I'm not talking about Madhurya Ras. Madhurya Ras is with the gopis. That is different. That is Madhurya, means the sweetness of the Lord. So the Aishwarya of the Lord is Gnana, and the Vijnana aspect is the Madhurya, sweetness of the Lord. So what Lord is telling here is, I will tell to you everything that is related to the material world, that is phenomenal world. What? His Aishwarya aspect. How is the controller? How is the karta? How is everything has been under his control? And next part is the numinous, or his spiritual aspect, or the completely where he is performing his pastime. Basically, Nama, Guna, Rupa, Leela, his companions, all that thing is. So when he's saying that when this is known, when that is known, what else remains to be known? Everything will be known to you. So that's what he means to say. And is he saying that you will come to you? So in Gita, he's going to tell everything. The point here is in principle. It's not that Krishna will start telling about the Leelas of Madhuri. No. In further chapters, the hints about how Lord is Bhaktavatsal, that hints will be seen. Lord is already, by Bhagavad Gita, he's speaking to Arjuna, becoming his charioteer. It's a Madhurya. It's a Vijnana aspect of the Lord. So that thing will be explained incompletely. That's a Lord. So that's how Lord will, this thing will be discussed in what you call principle level. That one has to understand. For deeper aspect, surely the same Bhagavad, we have Bhagavatam, we have Chaitanya Charitamrita. So so here it says, when the cause of all the causes becomes known, then everything knowable becomes known, and nothing remains unknown. The Vedas, Mundak Upanishad 113 says, Kasminnu Bhagavo Vijnate Sarvamedam Vijnatam Bhavatiti. So the same. So Prabhupada used to say, beautiful, how to understand when Krishna is known, then everything is known. Yes, because when Krishna is known, because he is the owner of both. He has his energies in the material world, and he himself is having his spiritual world. So everything is known. What else remains to be known? So Prabhupada used to give a very simple example. If you know the president of a country, finished. You can say you know everything. Why? Because the president knows the country. The president knows the country completely. Right? He knows completely. So he has A to Z information about the whole country. If you knows him, practically you know him, everything. If you ask him everything, you come to know about everything. So that's how this verse is telling about the telling about the both. That's why Krishna is saying that if you come to know Gnanam te aham savijnanam, I will give you both. Gnanam, the knowledge about my Aishwarya aspect, and about my sweetness, savijnanam. Then what will happen? There is nothing else will remain for you to be known. Okay, it's 8:11, Prabhus. I will stop here. So I would look forward for any questions, Prabhu, till the time I completed. So today I just began. Tomorrow onwards, I will try to go a little more faster pace. So yes, any questions? these two sections. They just started the chapter. So 3 minutes. Or shall I take one more verse? I think that will break the silence. Okay, I have 3 minutes to go. So let me at least recite the verse, read the translation, so I can flow tomorrow. Is that okay, Shantanu Prabhu? I think 8:15 was the time given to me, so that's why I'm taking advantage of it.
Okay, Prabhu, yeah.
Am I right, or is it like 8 o'clock I'm supposed to end?
No, 8:15, Prabhu. 8:15.
Right. I'm on time, so no problem. Fine. Next, verse 3. Manushanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tatvatah. Yeah, so I'll request Pratish Patra. Sorry if I... Yes, Prabhu.
Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Yeah, this we'll try to see tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna. Okay, now you got. Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, one thing, after 8:15, and if somebody has to leave because of their, further things, they all are allowed to leave. And this, I will not repeat, but you are all after 8:15 official time, you all can leave as per your further proceedings, and somebody has question answers and can wait, then I will try to serve them in that way. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu, who's asking?
Thank you, Prabhu. My name is Anil Prabhu.
Anil, okay.
Yeah. Prabhu, like the last point you told, if you know the president of country, then you know everything. So like that, if you know the Krishna, then you know everything.
Okay.
So last time. So actually, we find out that many things are there we don't know. Recently come into this type of question where the person is asking the question that many things you don't know about the demon things. But it's told that if you know the Vedas, then you know the everything. So when devotee asks the question that many things are there is not available into the Vedas, like current situation and whatever the progress happening into the material world, these things are not available into the Vedas. Then how can we say that just by knowing the Krishna or just by knowing the Vedas, we know the everything?
Yeah. Prabhu, firstly, knowing everything, please try to understand. It does not mean that only Krishna can know everything. Nobody can know everything. Why? Because if somebody asks a question, can you tell how many atoms are there in the whole of the universe? Who will answer it? We cannot answer. See, that is not the understanding given here. The essence is what? Even let us say the Vedas are lost. Then why are we even practicing spiritual life then? No, the essence of the scriptures as Bhagavatam is there. And the essence of scripture, what we are supposed to, that is there. So ultimately, if you read the whole thing also, you come to here. And at the same time, you have been nicely provided with the essence. So is it not? You know the everything. So when I say president, it's not that president's knowledge is, see, you know, you are in touch with it. So whatever you want to know, can. Similarly, if Krishna wants you to know, to whatever extent, to that extent you will come to know. Is it not? And certainly, Vedas are not available. So our acharyas have, how Bhagavatam is, they have established. If you go in Jiva Goswami's Tattva Sandarbha, establishment he comes only from Vedas. How Vedas are. Now, what is the amount? Only 5.6 to 6% of Vedas are available. What you are talking about Vedas? Only 6% of Vedas is available in hand. And that too today, how many people are reading it? If somebody claims, I have read all the Vedas, oh, it's a joke, nothing but a joke or mockery. Nobody has read the Vedas. Because Vedas is much more, it's only 5% available. 5 to 6%. Jiva Goswami does that analysis and completely in his Tattva Sandarbha. And then how is established? Then what to do? So that is lost. So that means we don't have anything to go ahead? No. He says that essence of that is in Vedanta Sutras, and that has been brought out wonderfully from Srimad Bhagavatam. That has been provided to all of us. So when I say, now, when you know Bhagavatam, and when you are understanding and living a life of, is it not? You know the essence of Vedas. You know the Vedas. In that sense, can it be said or not?
Yes,
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anything more? Okay, we shall end
I
here.
guess, Prabhuji. I had two doubts from chapter 6, which I was not able to ask.
Chapter 6. You should ask Amshu Prabhu because he flew with that chapter. You should personally mail him message.
It is like a general question from the purports. Can I ask that now?
Okay, you put it mail on a personal level because I'll flow with this thing because you can put me on this thing on my email on this WhatsApp. I'll personally try to deal with it. Is that okay?
All right. Okay.
Okay, because I don't want to take up that time because that for others it may be already done. So you send me the message. You send me, I'll done. And if I feel it's like it can be put in a common platform, I'll put it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Avinash. Oh, yes.
Prabhuji, how we are referring that the spirit behind it is refers to the Purusha Avtaras?
You tell me.
Like general meaning, like spirit means what? The purpose behind it, right?
Purpose behind it?
Spirit.
Okay. Anybody else? Those who have answered previously, Aman Prabhu, somebody said, right? So can anybody help me to reply, Avinash Prabhu? So then others' understanding can also help us. Or it means like you not understood me only what I said.
The spirit means soul, and the soul is coming from the Lord.
Soul is coming from the Lord?
Soul is a part and parcel of Lord. Sorry.
Never say soul is coming. Never ever use this word saying soul is coming from. We always exist.
Yeah, sorry.
As a part and parcel of the Lord. There is nothing called a point it was created. We will created. Nothing like that. In eternity, we are always as part and parcel. Yeah.
I think that's the reason we are telling that spirit means Lord. Lord of Taras.
So come again to what you said.
Spirit means soul actually. So soul is coming from
So this soul whom we are talking about, that spirit behind it when it is saying. So you see, will you call the spirit behind this whole universe spirit soul or super soul? Tell me. If the choice is given to all of you, will you, when the word spirit, and the word spirit can have multiple meanings also, right? Our mind sometimes blocks to a word, Atma, let us say in Sanskrit, Atma means spirit. Atma can refer to the Lord. Atma can refer to the mind. Atma can refer to the body. Atma can refer to the intelligence. Atma can refer to determination. Atma can refer to effort. So many multiple meanings are there. So do you think here Prabhupada is referring spirit to Atma or spirit? And it is clearly saying spirit behind it. The whole material existence, the spirit behind the material existence, what do you call, is the Paramatma or the Atma, you tell me?
Paramatma.
Okay, good. Now then, as question of Avinash Prabhu, where does Atma go then? So in that statement, is that mean that Prabhupada does not put, he forgot to put Atma there?
So, Prabhuji, like I would like to try. If Paramatma is being mentioned, then I think Atma is being already covered in that, because as a whole and soul, if Paramatma is there, because Atma.
You are close, but you are saying reverse. That much I can say. You are close, but you are answering reversely. Okay.
Phenomenal word. This phenomenal means both matter and spirit. That
exactly. When you say at one level, yes, phenomenal world means what exists in phenomenal world?
Both matter and spirit.
Matter and spirit. Which spirit is now when you are saying?
Atma.
Atma. This phenomenal world has this both, no? Matter and spirit, and behind it, the whole, who's the control, who's under whose direction everything is going on? Under whose direction everything is going? Upon the Lord's. Is this point clear to all of you?
Roji,
Yes,
can
yes,
we
Prabhuji.
say this as immediate cause, remote cause, and ultimate cause?
No, that we can go ahead with this thing, but is this point clear?
Yes, yes.
Is this point clear? So because otherwise, what will be the meaning then? You tell me, spirit behind it, then okay, then phenomenal, the spirit behind the whole spirit behind this means is it been controlled by the soul or Paramatma? Under whose direction, under whose control this whole material existence is ultimately, if you see, it's under the Supreme Lord as Paramatma aspect. Otherwise, what will be the meaning to what you call numinous? Numinous is, if you see the Acharyas also, it's clearly they say this is relating to the spiritual aspect of the Lord completely. Is it clear?
Why we call Paramatma as a three Purusha avatar? Why we did not call as a Krishna?
You tell me. Anybody? This is a good question.
Guruji, Krishna directly does not come in touch with material nature or anything to
So
do with
Vishnu,
material
you
world.
mean to say Paramatma comes in touch with
No,
material
no.
world?
No, he through the agency, Krishna through the agency of Purusha avatars does something related to this material world, the creation, maintenance, and destruction.
Okay, you are close.
Because the universes come out from the Purusha avatars and not from Krishna directly.
So when we say Purusha avatars, where are Purusha avatars? Is in spiritual world and material world. Material world. And Vishnu takes care of the material existence. So that is a specific this thing. Krishna comes as avatar. That is out of his mercy. Avatar in the sense he directly comes himself as for performing leelas. Krishna's main residence is Golok Vrindavan. And in all the different universes, he comes as a play for performing his leela and attracting the living entities. So if you go very technically and very, very specifically, it's Vishnu is considered the Paramatma of this material universe completely, if you see. And Krishna is Swayam Bhagwan himself. Is that point clear to you, Prabhu? Who is that? Aditya Prabhu, I think you asked, right?
It was Anil Prabhu.
Okay, Anil Prabhu. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll stop here or any more questions? Okay, Shanta Prabhu, shall we stop?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Okay, we'll continue tomorrow. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Om.
you.
Hare Om.